Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Forever Strong Seniors. I'm so glad you could join us today. What we're about to talk about isn't easy, but it's one of the most important conversations we can have, because it could change the way you support the ones you love most. If you've ever watched an elderly parent, a grandparent, or even a cherished neighbor quietly decline, you know how heartbreaking it can be. Often, families look back with regret, realizing the warning signs were there long before they truly understood what was happening. Today, we're diving deep into the 5 subtle signs that may appear during the final year of an elderly person's life. Important signs that many people overlook because they seem small at first. But recognizing them early can make all the difference, allowing you to bring more comfort, love, and dignity into their final chapter. Please stay with me all the way through because, by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer, kinder roadmap for the days ahead. Let's begin with the first sign: noticeable and ongoing weight loss. Now, it's common for people to lose a little weight as they get older. After all, appetites change and activity levels drop. But when someone begins losing weight without trying, and it continues steadily, it's usually a signal that something deeper is going on. Maybe you notice their clothes looking a little looser, or they need to tighten their belt another notch. At first, you might even smile and think, well, they're just slimming down a bit. But unintentional weight loss, especially in seniors, often means the body is no longer absorbing nutrients properly. Muscles shrink, strength fades, and the body's ability to heal and protect itself weakens. It might be because digestion is slowing down, or perhaps the ability to process proteins has diminished. Sometimes the issue lies even deeper. Conditions like heart disease, cancer, or advanced kidney problems can silently eat away at a person's strength long before obvious symptoms appear. Another quiet shift is in appetite itself. Food may lose its flavor. The simple joy of eating can fade. Instead of looking forward to meals, they might just pick at their plate or skip meals altogether. And it's not just personal preference. It's the body signaling that it's winding down. Many families, understandably, try to reverse it, offering favorite dishes, blending in protein shakes, or insisting on second helpings. But if weight continues dropping despite your best efforts, it's time to recognize that forcing more food might not solve the problem. Instead, focus on making eating as easy and pleasant as possible. Offer small, comforting meals, make hydration a priority, and most importantly, respect their changing relationship with food. Recognizing this change early doesn't mean giving up hope. It means choosing compassion over control and presence over pressure. Now, hand in hand with weight loss comes another subtle but powerful sign: persistent exhaustion and weakness. I'm not talking about the normal tiredness that a good night's sleep can fix. I'm talking about a deep, ongoing fatigue that makes even the simplest tasks feel impossible. Imagine needing a full rest just after walking across the room, or finding that lifting a cup of tea feels like lifting a heavy bag. In the final stages of life, the body becomes incredibly selective about how it uses its limited energy. The heart pumps more slowly, circulation weakens, and muscles receive less oxygen than they need. As a result, seniors may sleep longer, nap more often, and feel too drained for conversations, meals, or outings they once enjoyed. What makes this even harder is the emotional toll it takes. Many seniors have spent a lifetime valuing their independence, their energy, their involvement. When that starts slipping away, it can bring frustration, sadness, and sometimes even shame. You might see your loved one withdrawing, skipping family gatherings, giving up hobbies they once loved, not because they don't care anymore, but because they simply don't have the strength. And sadly, isolation often follows, accelerating their decline even more. If you're watching someone you care about grow more tired each day, it's important to remember, this isn't laziness. It's not something they can push through with more determination. It's their body speaking a truth that's beyond willpower, rather than urging them to get up and move. The greatest gift you can give is understanding. Allow them to rest without guilt. Make their surroundings cozy and peaceful. Celebrate small victories, a good conversation, a smile, a warm afternoon nap, because those are the moments that will matter most in the days to come. As we move forward, let's talk about the third subtle but powerful warning sign: increased confusion memory changes, and emotional withdrawal. Now, we all know that a little forgetfulness comes with age, misplacing keys, struggling to remember the name of a neighbor, taking an extra moment to recall a date. That's normal. But what we're talking about here is something deeper, something that touches not just memory, but the very way a person engages with the world around them. You might notice that someone who was once sharp and full of life now has trouble following conversations. They may lose track of where they are, even in familiar surroundings. They might forget close family members' names or repeat the same story within minutes without realizing it. These moments of confusion aren't just random accidents. They're signs that the brain, like every other part of the body, is struggling to function as blood flow slows and oxygen levels drop. In some cases, the changes are gradual. You notice them slipping away a little more each month. In others, it can feel like sudden flickers, moments of perfect clarity, followed by stretches of deep confusion. This fading in and out can be deeply unsettling for families. You might feel like you're losing someone you love, even though they're still physically present. And emotionally, it's not just about memory. Many seniors nearing the end of life begin to withdraw from conversations, social events, and activities they once loved. Not because they no longer care, but because interacting simply becomes too overwhelming. Conversations that used to flow naturally now take more effort than they have the energy for. Crowded rooms, background noise, even too many questions at once can feel exhausting and frustrating. And with all these changes, mood shifts often come too. You may notice your loved one becoming more irritable, more anxious, or at times unusually calm or detached. Some may seem agitated by small things that never bothered them before. Others might appear almost too quiet, too serene, as if the world around them is slowly fading into the background. It's important to understand, this isn't them giving up or acting out. It's a natural consequence of the brain slowing down, a protective way of withdrawing from overstimulation. For family members, witnessing these shifts can be one of the hardest parts of the journey. You might find yourself wanting to pull them back into conversation, to reawaken their interests, to bring them back. But often, the kindest thing you can do is to meet them exactly where they are. Speak gently. Sit quietly beside them. Hold their hand without expecting a full conversation. Understand that even when their words fade, your presence, your love, still reaches them in ways words no longer can. If you're noticing these changes in a loved one, if they seem more confused, more withdrawn, less engaged than before, please take it as a sign that their body and mind are moving into a different stage. This is the time to slow down, to treasure the quiet moments, to make their surroundings feel safe, familiar, and peaceful. It's not about forcing old routines or chasing old conversations. It's about creating an environment where they can simply exist with dignity, comfort, and love. Now, let's move into the fourth subtle but important sign: frequent infections and slower healing. The human body is a remarkable machine, but as we age, and especially as we approach the final stages of life, its ability to defend itself weakens. In the final year, you might notice your loved one getting sick more often. A simple cold that once would have passed in a few days now lingers for weeks. A minor urinary tract infection can cause major confusion. A tiny cut on the skin seems to take forever to heal. This isn't just bad luck. It's a visible sign that the immune system is slowing down, that the body's once powerful ability to fight off infections and repair itself is faltering. One of the biggest challenges families face at this stage is understanding that infections may not show up the way they used to. An elderly person may not spike a high fever with an infection. Instead, they might simply seem more tired than usual, more confused, less hungry. These quiet symptoms are easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. And when infections come back repeatedly, or when wounds heal slower and slower, it's often a signal that the body is having to work harder and harder just to maintain basic functions. You might see a pattern where antibiotics that once worked quickly now seem less effective. Your loved one may need stronger medications, longer treatments, or multiple rounds of care for infections that were once considered minor. And yet, despite everyone's best efforts, recovery becomes slower and more draining each time. Another sign to watch for: chronic wounds. little scratches that don't heal properly, bed sores for those who spend more time lying down, or bruises that seem to take months to fade, all point to weakening circulation and tissue repair. Understandably, when families see these patterns, the first instinct is often to fight harder, to push for stronger treatments, more hospital visits, more medications. But there comes a time when the focus may need to shift from aggressively treating every infection to prioritizing comfort and quality of life, keeping the skin clean and moisturized, encouraging gentle movement when possible, supporting hydration, and reducing overall stress on the body can sometimes bring more peace than another aggressive round of antibiotics. If you find yourself seeing these signs, repeated infections, slower healing, growing frailty, know that it's not because you or your loved one are doing anything wrong. It's simply the natural process of the body preparing for its final transition. Recognizing this doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing to walk this path with love, patience, and wisdom. Now, let's move to the fifth and final subtle but profound sign: major changes in breathing patterns and circulation. When the body approaches its final chapter, one of the clearest physical changes happens with the way a person breathes. You might notice that your loved one begins to breathe more slowly, more shallowly, or with irregular rhythms. Sometimes they pause for several seconds between breaths. Other times, they may breathe quickly for a moment, then slow down dramatically. There's even a specific pattern called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, where deep, fast breathing alternates with long periods of no breathing at all. It can be unsettling to witness if you aren't expecting it. But please know, this is a natural part of the body's gradual slowing down. At the same time, circulation begins to weaken. Blood that once flowed easily throughout the body now struggles to reach the outer areas. You might feel their hands or feet growing noticeably colder. Their fingertips, toes, or even their lips and ears may take on a bluish, purplish tint. Sometimes their skin starts to look blotchy or mottled, especially around the legs and arms. Again, while these changes may seem alarming, they are simply signs that the body is focusing its remaining energy on the most vital organs, the heart, the brain, the lungs, and reducing blood flow to less critical areas. You may also observe that even small movements, like sitting up, talking, or changing positions, leave them short of breath. Breathing may become harder work for them, and lying flat might feel uncomfortable. You might hear them breathing through their mouth more often, or see them trying to prop themselves up with extra pillows, just to breathe a little easier. In some cases, there might be a wet-sounding cough, a gurgling noise, or a sense of chest tightness. Many families mistake this for a simple cold or congestion, but in someone nearing the end of life, it's usually the lungs signaling that they're struggling to keep up. It's natural to feel a rush of panic when you see these signs. You might find yourself wanting to encourage them to take deeper breaths, or to sit up straighter, or to fight against the changes. But the truth is, trying to fix or force breathing patterns at this stage is often more distressing for them than helpful. What truly makes a difference is creating a peaceful, comforting environment, keeping the room cool and fresh, using a humidifier to ease dryness, offering small sips of water if they can swallow comfortably. These small acts of kindness can bring more relief than any heroic medical intervention. And when it comes to circulation changes, like cold hands or bluish skin, simple gestures matter most. Offer a warm blanket, gently massage their hands or feet with lotion to maintain comfort. Speak softly, reassure them with your presence, and create an atmosphere of calm. They may not always be able to tell you what they feel, but your loving attention, your voice, your touch, those things cut through the fog of discomfort and fear in ways medicine cannot. Watching someone you love go through these physical changes is never easy. It can stir up deep emotions, sadness, helplessness, longing. You may find yourself grieving even before they are truly gone. That's completely normal. It's a part of the journey families walk during this sacred transition. What's important to remember is that you are not powerless. You are offering one of the greatest gifts a person can give, a loving presence during life's final and most vulnerable moments. As you witness these signs, slower breathing, irregular rhythms, cold hands and feet, bluish skin, let them be a reminder not of what's being lost, but of what you still have. The chance to be there, to create peace, to surround your loved one with kindness and dignity as they prepare to leave this life. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to fix what cannot be fixed. You just have to be there, heart open, spirit willing, walking alongside them in love. As we come to the end of today's conversation, I want to take a moment to gently walk back through everything we've shared together. We've talked about 5 subtle signs that often appear during the final year of an elderly person's life. They don't usually come all at once, and sometimes they're so quiet, so easy to brush off, that we don't recognize them until much later. But if you're watching closely, if your heart is open, you can often sense when these changes are happening. We started by noticing significant, unintentional weight loss, a sign that the body is no longer absorbing what it needs, no longer signaling hunger the way it used to. Then we talked about deep, persistent exhaustion, a tiredness that rest no longer restores, as the body carefully conserves its limited energy. We moved on to increased confusion and emotional withdrawal, signs that the brain and heart are finding it harder to stay connected to the busy world around them. We looked at frequent infections and slower healing, reminders that the immune system is winding down, that recovery becomes harder and harder with each passing illness. And finally, we recognized changes in breathing and circulation, slower rhythms, colder hands, and the soft, steady way the body begins to release its hold on this life. It's hard, isn't it? Even just talking about it brings a tightness to the chest. We love deeply, and with that love comes the pain of knowing we must one day say goodbye. But understanding these signs isn't about giving in to fear. It's about preparing our hearts, about learning how to shift from fighting every decline to embracing what time is left with tenderness, wisdom, and peace. You see, when we notice these signs early, it doesn't just help the person who is nearing the end. It helps us, too. It gives us the chance to make better decisions. It gives us time to say what needs to be said, to mend broken conversations, to sit quietly together and share the kind of love that doesn't need many words. It allows us to choose peace over panic, comfort over chaos, love over fear. Sometimes, the most powerful thing we can do is simply be present, to sit beside them, to hold their hand, to whisper memories and words of love even when they no longer answer back, to surround them with familiarity, their favorite songs, the scent of fresh flowers, a soft blanket across their lap. These small gestures carry a weight beyond anything grand or complicated. They tell your loved one, you are seen, you are loved, you are not alone. If you're noticing some of these signs in someone close to you, I hope you'll take a deep breath and remember, you are not walking this path alone. Many families have been here before. Many hearts have carried this sorrow and found unexpected strength within it. And while nothing can make it easy, knowing what to expect, knowing how to shift from frantic fixing to simple loving, can bring you peace in the middle of uncertainty. Here at Forever Strong Seniors, we believe every moment matters, especially near the end. So if today's conversation touched your heart, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, have you noticed any of these signs in someone you love? How are you creating comfort and peace for them? Your stories, your wisdom, and even your struggles can help others walking this same road. And if you found today's video helpful, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Forever Strong Seniors if you haven't already. We have so many more heartfelt conversations waiting for you. Ways to support aging loved ones, ways to find meaning in every stage of life, and ways to hold on to hope even when the road is hard. Thank you, truly, for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself and your loved ones. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again soon here on Forever Strong Seniors. Until next time, my friends.